This building you're looking at, this was my dad's barbershop from 1964 to 1970 in May when he passed away. The building didn't look the same back then. I think it might have even been painted white, possibly even a wood front, but I'm not really sure. Dad had his name. The name of the shop was Red Chandler's Barbershop. He had it painted on the window, one of the windows, and I believe he had a barber pole out front. He used to work for Abe Rothman from 1960 probably till 1964 when he got that shop. Abe was down a block on 405 Edmond. Now, Dad had he liked collectibles and antiques, so in the back of his store, that's where he kept all that stuff at. He'd wheel and deal and trade and buy and sell and whatever. And I'm pretty sure that he had a back door there, and there was this little big space in between his building and the building next to it, just about the width of a door. And they got it blocked off now, but I remember the family, hauling stuff in and out of there, but I'm not really sure about that. But I know we used it. And I'm not so sure why he used the back way instead of the front way, but I'm sure we used that back entrance every now and then. Dad went to barber school, I believe in around 1956 in Oklahoma City. And after that, I believe that's when he went to work for Abe Rothman. No, he didn't go right away, but later on he did. I think he did some barbering before Abe or somewhere, but anyway, I'm going to take you around to this little area here, my dad's shop, and right around the corner there, across the street was the bus terminal. And it was a busy place downtown in the 60s. Hopping place, really. And it was a big hangout for me. I used to hang out there a lot with some friends. There's one friend in particular. We'd go hang out there a lot. But this is Wright's jewelry store. It was a nice store back then. And I remember going over there a few times for my dad to either pick up something that he had there on repair, or he was buying, or he'd sold, or pawned. I don't really remember exactly what the trip was for, but I did run a few errands a couple of times for my dad over there. Might have been repair. And anyway, my dad was a barber, and he liked to gamble too. And around the store, and I'll tell you about it in a minute, was a little cigar store. And I'm sure he frequented that and played some cards in there. Now this is Wright's jewelry store still, and there was a clock there. I believe it hung from the building somewhere. I'm not really sure where that clock was at, but just recently they've taken that down, and I understand that they've still got the clock. So I hope if somebody buys this building, that I would be neat if they'd keep it like it is, kind of restore it and maybe put that clock back up. I went to the library. I had tried to get some help on Facebook to some friends that would tell me about all these stores here, what they remember, and one guy was really helpful. I went to the library and looked at the city directories, and I looked at 1967. Now this building you're looking at here, I think, was a Red Wing Cafe. Now I don't remember going into that cafe very much, if I ever did. I might have, though. Sure don't remember. Now next to that, I believe, there's a door there. Now there might have been an apartment upstairs. I'm not sure what that door was for, where it led, but maybe an apartment. But this next door you're going to look at, that's where I believe the Junction cigar store was. And I believe it was just a little makeshift storefront. I don't think they cared if they sold anything, because they had gambling in the back. I know they played cards there. And they might have thrown some dice back there too. I don't know. It might have just been cards, but my dad probably played some cards in there, I'm sure, a few times. Now, there were 2 pawn shops on this block, and maybe this next one was Harry Heitman, Loan and Jewelry. Possibly that was, it looks like it would have been that pawn shop. Storefront windows there. But I'm not positive. Because it says 2 buildings were vacant in 1967. And I don't know which buildings they were talking about were vacant. Now there's the old food kitchen place. I don't know what was in there back then. I don't know if one of these pawn shops later moved over to the we're in that food kitchen buildings or not. Maybe they were. Now the last building, I believe, was American Loan and Jewelry. We're going to see it there in just a moment there. But I used to love looking at these pawn shops. They had all these instruments in the windows. They had harmonicas, ukuleles, guitars, fiddles. Anything you can think of, they had in that window. All these neat looking instruction books. And my mouth would just drool every time I walked by one of those windows. I wanted to learn every instrument in that building, in that window. And I did buy a few things out of there too. Probably bought me a harmonica a time or two. I don't know if I ever bought any guitars in there. Now, but that was, I believe, American Loan and Jewelry. I took around the corner. I thought there used to be, his name was on that building, but anyway, that's it for now, I believe.